Hello.
Hi Nils.
Hi, hello everyone.
Hello. Hey, good morning. That's already a big round.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
We'll just give it another minute or two and then we'll get started.
So due to the time sheet, I guess Vipin won't be able to join today. So I'll confirm with him and next meeting if this time suits him.
And Shubham, I heard you say what that was?
Yeah, so Vipin won't be able to join today
Okay.
because time shift happened.
Okay.
So now,
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning, Lucas.
I wonder, is this time more or less inconvenient for people who are not in United States time zone?
less convenient.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I think for Europe it's kind of okay.
Nice. And what time is it in Europe right now?
So it's 6 p.m. now. Well, not in all of Europe, but that's Berlin time.
Is this ordinarily 5 p.m.?
What do you mean ordinarily?
No, we switch back for daylight saving 2 weeks before you. So that's
Okay. Yeah. That's how we're in sync. Is there daylight saving in Europe? I thought there wasn't.
Yeah, there is. So we
Glad to
don't
share this
switch
thing.
at the same time as US, but there's also switched. We were a bit earlier.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We can talk about moving this meeting at the end and to see if that is something we should do. So we'll go to release updates since Vipin is not able to join.
Yeah, hi. You want to start, Max, or?
I have nothing to say. I think there are some backports happening, but I have no release updates.
Sure. So maybe I just, I think in the last meeting, we were discussing about listing down the PRs which are specific to 1.8. So there are 2 PRs which I have marked here. And there are like 1 or 2 PRs more I'm going to raise in a week or so. Just summarizing whatever we have observed from the feedback from the customer. I think one was most of them are directly moving from 1.6 to 1.8. I think we discussed in the last meetings as well. And the crashes and memory upgrade issues have been observed. So I think one of them we got some help from Sebastian and we got it fixed. But I think 1 or 2 more issues are still there. So I will be filing it in a week or 2, so that it's captured here as we discussed last time. Overall, based on the feedback, we were thinking that we need to put a little more focus on the 4G testing on a regular basis, so that 4G and 5G both, so that any last minute changes or any surprises can be ironed out. So for that, what WaveLabs team is doing is, we have our GLB and UE, we are GLB, and UE in the labs. And what we are trying to see is if we can simulate even if a scale down setup of the customers, so that I can bring those kind of issues early on, or we can fix them. So that's the main point which we wanted to discuss. So I think we all have the tools are in whatever the tools we have are great, but I think going forward, I think a little bit more focus are required on the 4G, 5G core testing. I think one point was this C++ migration. So I think one of the benchmark we might have to do once all the PRs are committed. So that's what is observation from our customers. So I think one issue was again this orchestration has any changes in subscriber DB of the orchestration. I think needs to be a little more documented. Maybe sometimes when we do the code change, we don't know the end impact. But in few cases, customers services BSS system got impacted because of the change, and it was a little bit challenging for him. So instead of upgrade, he has to do fresh installation and configure the things. So those were the couple of updates inputs I have got. And keep on putting the numbers here or share on the Slack. Yeah. So any feedback, any comments?
I was struggling following you through all of that. Can you maybe summarize that and write it down somewhere? It's I think it was a lot of information, and I just wasn't able to capture all of that.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, okay, you can come closer to the mic and speak. We felt you're a little bit too far away.
Okay, let me just try. Is it better now?
Yeah, you can speak a little bit louder if you want. Yeah.
Yes. So I
Yogesh,
think
to Max's point, I think it's a few things coming together. So if we could share a list of action items here, that would help clarify the different aspects, because otherwise we'll mix up.
Yes, right.
Multiple issues.
Yeah. So I think in short, there are 3 items I would like to summarize. First is, we have started putting the PRs in the ZenHub task, and we are fixing, but meaning we are seeing all sort of issues like memory leaks, restarts, and the upgrades. So for that, we are trying to see if we can do something fortnight in our labs and do some kind of benchmarking, let's say every 15 days or a month. That would be better. And I think going forward, I think it would be great if we can, if we can bring together all the tools and focus on the, get more focused on the 4G, 5G testing instead of other tools. So I think that's what my 3 points were. I'll keep on posting the PRs, and if there is any feedback, I'll probably discuss in a group or a one-to-one. So that was the quick summary.
All right. Thanks, Yogesh.
Father, do you want to add something here?
No, I'm good. I think you covered it all, right? So most of our customers, the stability issues of the core code base, upgrade issues, as well as the lack of feature in the core code base has been a concern for most of our customers. Yeah, I think you summarized it well, Yogesh. Thanks.
That's all from my side, Kandan. Yes, sorry, my throat is, I think, a little bit maybe. Yeah.
No worries. Thanks, Yogesh. We'll go to DevOps updates, Shubham.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I
Max,
misread. Sorry. The order is different. Yeah, DevOps.
Okay. So from Tim's side, he has already posted all the updates on the DevOps channel. From my side, I was trying to restructure the EKS cluster. So EFS solution was fixed, but right now there is a different error which I'm facing from last 1 week. That is, container network interface is giving IP to some pods, like initial pods that we deploy via EKS cluster. But when we deploy orchestrator, some pods are getting IP and some pods are not getting IP. So this is a CNI error, which I'm trying to fix. This thing can be due to the latest version of EKS cluster, how they have implemented it. But yeah, I'm still trying to debug. Once it's fixed on my local, I'll raise the PR. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Siobhan. All right, next, Artifactory migration, Fabio.
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry, I'm on my phone. So the Artifactory migration, I'm working on it. There was a script that was causing the Artifactory to get down through size. So I requested the increase or the attachment of a new volume to do the last part of the backup. We're currently staying in around the middle ground. I managed to migrate the smaller repositories, and I'm actually waiting for the last part to be attached. I'm assuming I will have better news for the end of this week, because the process, once we got the file system, it will be real quick. So I'm waiting on that. But besides that, I will update in the channel that we share with Magma, so to give them more updates about this.
You said you migrated already smaller registries.
Yes,
so there are.
Well, they're private, but I will put it on public. I think we already talked about that the last part. I didn't actually put it to public, so I will share it publicly now with the user so that you can test it if you want.
Yeah, we should start testing it as soon as possible, since it's the blocking path right now for the Artifactory migration, and we are several weeks or months behind. So
yes, I will do it as soon as my internet comes back. I will do it and will send you a message.
Okay, and then we can start testing and checking if it's working.
Sure. Thanks. That's my update.
Thanks, Fabio. Next, we have testing update. Is Tian on the call, or anyone who would be giving that update? All right, we can skip that one. And we'll go to security from Lucas.
Hello. So we've received a disclosure this morning that I think is well researched and well reported, and is coming from a credible researcher. Because we post these recordings in public, we probably shouldn't discuss the substance of it in this call, but maybe we can have a conversation after this that is not recorded. The issue is it's real, and is a protocol level error, and I guess I will just leave it there. I hope to maybe get a little slice of time at the end of this meeting if we can.
Sure, we can, once we go through the agenda and there's time left, we can stop the recording and talk through it.
Great, thank you.
Of course. Okay. Any feature development work that people would like to give an update on? If not, then we can go to the better engineering section. We'll start with Rashmi C++ migration.
Yeah, sure, can do. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, as part of converting the C files to CPP, like Prithvi has working on MMA app. The one thing, the task relatives is fine, but there are some common files are there. She started working on that one. And apart from this one, like there are some common supporting tasks are there as S6AJ and GTP V1U task and SGS task. Those are like almost done kind of thing. Some are in review state, some are merged to the master. Right now, he's working. Ankit is working on the S11 task. And apart from this one, like there, with respect to converting the C structures to protobuf structure, we are done with S1AP and we started with the SP gateway. Is converting the C structures to protobuf structure. So we started with SP gateway. Yeah, that is, and we are done with the create session procedure. So we need to handle for the other procedures. And as part of converting the hash table to the protobuf map, we have to start like we had started with the MMA app and NAS. Yeah, there is one hash table is in progress. Yeah, that's all from me.
Thanks, Rashmi. Any questions? All right, we can jump to Nils, Basil effort.
Yeah, hello everybody. I will grab the screen. So not a lot of detailed upgrades today, but it still holds that we are progressing in the switch over. So we try to announce everything on the dev channel if we switch something. So feel free to have a look from time to time to see what features are now covered only by Basil and not by Make anymore. You can use the Basil channel if you have any issues or questions about the ongoing switchover. A little bit of details. The Debian build is now published to the Artifactory. We are fixing currently smaller issues with this, but in general, this is working. For the other parts, just the developer experience, there's a nice feature developed by Jan that we now have also bash completion on the VM and on the dev container for Basil. So this greatly improved working with Basil on these for us and hopefully for you as well in the future. And as always, we have many detail improvements in progress exactly for this ongoing switchover. Do you have any questions? Then thank you for listening, and I will give back the screen.
Quick question, Nils. Just
yes, of course.
So, will the documentation be updated in real time as the switchover happens?
Of course, yes. Parts of the documentation we are updating when a certain part is switched over, if it's a necessary hard change. But we have also some issues ongoing to proactively update the documentation for parts that are currently already can be used with Make and Basil. But yes, of course, we will update the documentation.
And we will find this where? On the next part of the documentation? Is that where it will be?
It's on the current master documentation,
okay,
if I understood you correctly.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? Then, thanks again, and I will give back.
Thanks, Nils. Any data path updates, Nick, Yogesh?
Nothing from my side.
Right. And roadmap updates, which I know we want to do a roadmap deep dive later this call. Is that still going to happen, Max?
The deep dive, yeah, we can go through the roadmap afterwards. Yeah, let's move it to the end.
Okay. Right. I was hoping we were going to have quorum so we could vote on merging these co-donor groups. I'm sure you've seen it in Slack that Sebastian has requested to merge the orchestrator infra approvers with the orchestrator approvers, and then the AGW session D into just the AGW, just kind of consolidating the groups. I will just do a vote in Slack instead of doing it here, and we'll get that situated. So then we will move to the Bazel Docker proposal.
Yeah, it's the proposal that we presented last week that had some discussion, and that also would be interesting to vote on. But if you don't have quorum, we can't do that. It's the build Docker images with Bazel proposal. There was some discussion that might be interesting to read. But if we don't have quorum, we probably need to take it offline.
Okay, do we want to also hold the vote for that in Slack?
I think there was a start of a discussion. Let's wait for let's give a few more days to finish the discussion, and then I would ask for a vote, probably.
Okay. That sounds good. Then, sorry, my page just disappeared. There it is. Then we can go ahead to the roadmap deep dive.
Yeah, the roadmap deep dive might be a short roadmap deep dive. I have not received any feedback or input regarding roadmap. Is someone here that wants to speak up and has some input for the roadmap? No? Otherwise, we can just go through. There was someone?
Yes, this is Lucas. I wanted to say that I wasn't totally clear on what the deliverable was here. There exists, a list of security items to address in the future. And I'm not sure how you'd like to triage those and how you'd like those to fit into this. There is a URL for that. I'll just share that. You can consider it at your leisure.
I think it's also linked here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it's also in the roadmap already.
Yes.
Maybe then let's use a few minutes of time to just go through the current state of the roadmap. So there are a lot of 1.8 release targets still listed here. The assumption is that they are all done with the 1.8 release. The first section is features. Feature-wise, there are some 5G features proposed to be added to the release 1.9. It's the go-to-market owner and development owner for them is Wavelabs. I have no idea what their potential timeline would be. It's potential. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, Max. So I think we are doing this internal discussion with the teams to put up our timeline. So either here or in the tickets, whatever is there, we will capture one of it so that it becomes clear. Most of them are validation, third-party testing, so it should be fair. But yeah, as you mentioned, I'll work with the team to come up with clear timelines. Yeah, it's just that we got caught up with this 1.8 issue, so hopefully by next week I'll try to come up with the timelines.
Yeah, that would be interesting to understand what could be in 1.9, what could be a later release. Or what could come later. There is radio firmware update with Freedom Fire's owner planned for 1.9. Do we know anything about that? Okay. Also, the Magma gateway is listed here as something that would be to be done. It's not yet. I'm not sure what the current plan for Magma gateway is.
Hey,
But,
Max, Max, this is Kader from
Yeah.
Dave. Just a quick question. I was just looking at this list, right? The core features for 5G and 4G, very thin, right? So what can we do as a community to increase that? Because without the core features, I mean, everything else is all, it's not going to work, right? What can we do as a team to bring more contributors or whatever that we need to do as a community to bring in more added features, core features into this project? Which I
That's
don't
a really. I like your question. I think the problem is on one side, what features do we want to have next? So what's our roadmap? So it's a chicken and egg problem in some sense. Are you interested in hosting a session where we discuss?
We should come together, right? Because like I told you, I mean, it's, on a very humble note, DevOps, testing, all these things are very, very important, right? I completely agree. But without the core features, those are not usable, right? So we need to look at how we can engage the community too, because we started deploying and doing the proof of concept with some of the customers. Yeah, so one of the concern of them not adopting or not favoring Magma is because they don't see any core features, in the roadmap, right? Just wanted to share feedback to TSC team, and we'll leave it at that. And also the stability of the 4G. It's not only 5G, right? So we are working with 3 or 4 customers. There's a lot of bugs. Yokesh kind of mentioned stability of the 4G is a big concern for even considering adopting Magma. And second one is inadequate features, in Magma for 5G. These are the 2 concerns. As I can tell you, we are engaged with 9 to 10 customers. I cannot say the name because of NDA. At least I can tell you 4 or 5 customers moved out of Magma because of these 2 reasons. I just want to put it on the table. Unless and until we don't come together as a team to work on the core items, it's going to be tough for us in the market.
Yeah, that's exactly the right question. And now the next step is how can we identify these features, these improvements that need to be done. And I think it's not the right round right now, but it's something that needs a follow-up. It's something that needs some preparation and someone hosting a discussion, and that probably results in some fruitful input for the roadmap, and also helps you to convince customers to stay with Magma, to understand that these features are coming.
Yeah.
I think what we're missing at this point is engineering resources. I don't know if Wave Labs is interested in putting engineering resources for 4G as well, given you have customers.
Yeah, right now we are fixing bugs and we are upstreaming it, right, Shruti? Yeah, we do have customers. So there's a difference between paying and non-paying customers, right? So we are in a situation right now convincing customers, not letting them move away from Magma so we can generate a long-term revenue. That's where we are right now. So fighting to generate a long-term revenue. Today, are we generating revenue? Very thin,
I see.
Right? So this is the biggest challenge in the market, to be very open with you. Yeah.
Right.
Where do they go if not Magma, Cotter?
So there's a lot of commercial vendors like 40K, 50K, 30K licenses available out there, which has 4G, 5G cores. And also there are other open sources. So I mean, options are there for sure.
Thank you.
And Kader, what is now that you're assessing, getting feedback from multiple customers, I believe is deployment the challenge or the feature gap? Because we have a big list of features even on the 4G side, especially like last year it was inbound roaming in the previous release. And what are the features that you think are missing? But one, that would be a good thing to put on this roadmap if you have that feedback. Two,
Sure.
how would you compare, given across the customers, what's a bigger pain point? Right.
See, one of the strategy that we adopted, I got your question, right, Shruti, is that on the 4G, we went behind customers who are doing FWA and don't have any roaming requirement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, we never looked at going customers who has, a roaming requirement. So, so from that point of view, we are covered, and mostly the stability issues are the biggest concern right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the 4G. And on the 5G, it's the feature issue, more or less, right? So these are the two at a very high level, but we can always dig into the details, double click that. We did have prepared all those list of features that customer has been asking, but it's again for us, facing our customers is a chicken egg problem, right? Like Max mentioned. Okay, you don't have a feature, why should I pay? Okay, it's the same discussion that's happening on the customer side as well. So that's why I was coming back to the community, putting it on the table that we as a community, if we don't have an active roadmap, this chicken egg problem towards the customer will be there, and eventually, little customer that we have also will move out of Magma is the worry.
Right, and I think given the size of the community right now, and given the size of the developer community contributors, we need to be very focused on what we are prioritizing. So that's where I'm looking for the feedback on, okay, on 4G it's stability, on 5G it's features. Is that a fair order to put on the roadmap? We can throw everything at the roadmap, but the thing is that would be very distracting and confusing to everyone involved. So if you're putting something on that roadmap, it should come with a clear priority attached to it. And what does it mean, given the resources that are available?
Right. I mean, mostly if you see on the 4G, it was Freedom 5 was contributing, right, on engineering. I'm talking from the core point of view, right, Shruti? I'm not sure if anyone is here, but I have not seen a lot of activities on 4G. But we know that 5G is the future. So I'll leave it to TSG. They know better than. But yeah, your understanding is fair because most of the adoption is happening on 5G. We need to make sure 4G, whatever we have, it works really well, so that go behind some of the opportunities that are fixed wireless access, which is what this is built for. For others, it is not built for, right? It was never built for private networks or others. It's mostly built for fixed wireless access. And then focus on 5G, which is the future for all of us. If you all have to make money, that's where we're going to make money. In 4G, everybody will say, hey, can you give it for free? But 5G, there's an opportunity for us to make money. So if we focus on 5G features and do something within the community, the core part, then we can be successful. So your assumption is fair. I just kind of double click to explain.
And so just to add on to that, I think on the 4G stability, like the C++ migration that Radis's team is doing plays to that. The improvements on CI and integration testing that TNG and Radis's are co-working, and the new testing that OAI team is building. So I think in terms of 4G core stability, there are a lot more contributors on this call who are involved there. And what we are missing and what could help, like with is hardware and loop testing or performance testing, like with the removal of spiral support that we had at Meta. Now we are looking for better hardware in the loop testing, which is not available at the moment. So if you have any customers open to do that, that would be a good addition to that stability push. But if you look at all that better engineering effort that is currently focused, a lot of it is focused on 4G. I wouldn't say like Fablabs is the one leading the 5G, but the other contributors are focused on general stability. So just want to highlight that.
Yeah, it's a good point, but we have to go and look at it. The number of effort that we are putting, what is the end result, right? It looks like 95% of the effort is put on 4G. How many have 4G? I mean, is it really adding value to end goal of community? I don't know, right? I don't have the data point. So something to think through. I mean, what you're telling me is that 95% of the effort is put on 4G, but a lot of people are looking for 5G to really adopt Magma. There's something missing here, something to think about.
Right, and I think probably especially we would lean on Web Labs and Freedom Fi and other companies connect 5G to bring that visibility to the TSC in terms of what, like when you say stability, what are the pain points there? What is what are the issues that you're tracking? High priority issues or high impact issues that you would want to bring to the attention of the TSC, because if you want someone to fix it, you need to.
It's already there, Shruti. Maybe I'll have a Yokesh too, because we track internally and also it's always uploaded into this list of 5G features, priorities. Everything has been it's been there for a while. But yeah, anyways, we can if you wanted to reinitiate that discussion, we kind of said the same thing early this year, but there was not the reception wasn't really good, so we kind of took a step back, and the same discussion is coming back again. We'll be happy to come back and put forth what we discussed earlier this year back in front of TSC and see what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
If I can enter the conversation, I mean, there are more than one view of what needs to be part of this roadmap. And this view comes from, I mean, some of us who have potential customers and already running customers, because our customers are basically in different regions, they have different needs. So there will be different new views on what needs to be done. I mean, 4G, I'll give you an example. I mean, from Connect 5G, we are still looking at 4G as well with 5G on Magma, because we have requirements from customers which want to have redundancy on their core. They want to have different 4G core for redundancy. Maybe they already have Nokia or Ericsson or whatsoever, and they require to have separate core for redundancy, which is not from the same vendor. So this is one use case. But the best approach, I mean, this is at the end of the day, the TSC meeting should not be in-depth discussion on these things. So maybe we should call for work sessions where we discuss these things.
I agree.
Yeah, and for the stability, I mean, all these changes which are ongoing on the refactoring of the code and refactoring of the whole CI/CD actually goes against the stability. Stability is achieved with minor changes on the code. Major refactoring are bringing more instability to the code. They bring new features, they bring new values, but basically they bring also instability. So we need to find this balance of what we need to refactor, what makes sense to be refactored, and when we do this refactoring. Because if we all agree that 4G is something which is fading away, we should not refactor it to C++, by example. Maybe many people will not agree with me, but in my view, if something is fading away, we should not spend additional effort to refactor the code. We need to spend effort to stabilize it and make sure that it's maintainable. Now, if the code is so unmaintainable, then yes, we can go to refactoring. But this also needs to be discussed on a separate session. So basically, we have two different sessions which we need to call. How to achieve the full stability of the code, and what are the features which our customers wants to see. I mean, not at the end of the day, as Kadir said, we are doing this we want to convert this into a profit. So afterwards, we can use this profit to grow the community further. If we don't have money, this community will die. And to have the money and to have the profit, we need to listen to the customers who will be paying. It doesn't matter what we say. At the end of the day, it matters what the customers who are paying are going to say. Yeah, that's it from me.
See, and also Shruti, right? At the end of the day, customer wants to see it working, right? They don't really care whether you do C, C++, or you do automated deployment. They don't really care. Those are all is like improving their efficiency once they deploy and grow. And today, most of, one of the biggest customers that we have is only like 4,500 subscribers, right? Or approximately 4,000. Rest of them is like 100, 500, 800. I mean, if you think through if you take a step back and look at it, right, what they really need is the stability, working product, and they don't really care about anything else at this point of time. That's also another input I just want to let you know.
Right, I think all points well taken, and probably then we need to have a more deep dive into what do we mean by stability. We have the release 1.8 and what needs to be added on top of that for stability, and bring it to the TSC. And the question then also that goes in parallel is, what's the scope of the effort, and do we have enough contributors to execute on that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you identify the right things to do, then we can figure out the way to do it, right? I think right now we are debating on what's the right things to do and when to keep this community afloat and successful on a very humble note.
Right, and then that was the plan of the roadmap planning, right? It was like we wanted the deployer feedback and to pivot on based on that for the roadmap. And I'll let Max lean into that discussion on how do we now that 1.8 is out, and how do we plan for 1.9, and how do we prioritize for 1.9?
The prioritization is probably the most complicated question. And right now I was more looking for which features are potentially there, who was or who would be willing to work on them, and what's the timelines, and trying to get some sense of that. Yeah. I'm not sure if we are already done with. I think we are not done with the discussion about all these points, but we realized 5G core features and 4G stability improvements need to have separate working sessions, and we need someone to take care of that, or we need someone to push that forward. Is there someone willing to shepherd that effort?
We'd be happy to work together. Jordan, you want to join us? We'll take an initiative.
Definitely, yeah, definitely, Kadir. I mean, I was just waiting to can we, because me and Kadir are not actually members of the TSC, but can we take over these two things?
Yeah, it's a community-driven thing that can be input to the TSC. Sure.
So yeah, okay. So then we will take over this, and we will try to come up with what's our view and what's needed from the customer perspective.
So Max, I know that Connect 5G, they have some customers, and they'll actually work with some customers, right? Paying or not paying, that's a different story. Outside of us too, is there anyone else working with customers that we can get feedback from? I know that there was a document that was maintained in TSC, the list of vendors and the customers that they have. Do we have that with us right now? Or
there was some.
Yeah, there is a list in the wiki. There is a list, Kadir, but nobody's updating it.
Yeah. The question is it an updated list now outside of you and us? Is there anyone else who's actually working with the customers? I'm not sure Freedom 5 after acquisition, or they're still continuing with Magma or not. I'm not clear on that as well.
Yeah, let's discuss that after the meeting, and let's see what we find for that. Sure. And I would like it to be some public working sessions, and not that you are hosting, and not that you are putting your heads together and come back with a proposal. I still think it needs to be public, and I still think at least I would like to join.
Sure.
But yeah,
definitely it should be public. I mean, for sure we are going to have preparations and discuss it in a shorter group, but then Of course, we need to call for the public to come and comment.
And that is the goal is to create 4G stability issues and 5G features and find points where to act. Yeah. Cool. I think that for now would wrap that up. Let me go through just a few different other points. Lucas, how much time do you think you need in the end? We have 15 minutes left. Okay.
Pardon me, I found unmute. I think probably 10 minutes is the step.
Okay. Then let's just give a brief overview of the other sections that are not central feature related sections. There's the DevOps section, which is around building and publishing artifacts, bringing them to CI, testing them in CI. And I think there is a lot of that is already done and needs to be updated. The switch to Cloud Artifactory is currently in progress, and also the CI jobs here are probably, most of them are already done. I have not yet captured a complete list, but this section is probably mostly done. We heard an update regarding the Bazel build, that's work in progress. Here's the Bazel build with Docker images. That's the proposal that we were not able to vote on today. And we heard the C++ migration update. The C++ migration does not have a target release.
Actually, it's been updated to 43%, but here it is not updated. In the this sheet, it is updated.
So what's the amount?
43% now.
43? Okay.
Yes.
And an ETA or something like that would be interesting so that we can see if it's a 1.9 or later thing. And there is developer experience. I think Shubham was working on Red Hat Ansible automation platform. I don't know if that's still up to date or if you want to contribute that to core or to the main project.
So actually the thing is, so Red Hat Ansible automation platform is proprietary, and I was working on its open source version that is called AWX, and I wrote all the code for deployment for orchestrator, access gateway, and all of the things. So code is already there, but yeah, I've not like published in the Magma official because we have to get Red Hat in sync if they are willing to put this in their marketplace. Otherwise, people will not be able to like use it very easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's
we can like. So yeah, so there is no progress in this at this moment.
Okay. I think we can skip security since that is just work in progress, and we will in a minute have a security update, and we can skip on hold since that is on hold, even though that we might want to use it as input for other discussions at some point. But that would be the short deep dive in there, and next steps are we will join Carter and Jordan's deep dive sections regarding 4G stability pain points and 5G core features. Any questions? Anything to add? Okay. then we probably can stop the recording and go to